Okay, let's take the vote. All in favor of Mr. Jenkins serving as parliamentarian for the meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
Ayes have it. Okay. Can we now move on to the agenda, gentlemen?
I would like to move to place, with your approval, make a motion.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to place the authority in regard to any contractual agreement to the Legislative District Committee members only.
I'm not sure I understand your motion, but let's go see if there's a second, then we can discuss it. Is there a second?
Wait, say that again.
I move to place all authority in regard to any contractual agreements to the Legislative District Committee only.
Second.
Discussion.
I don't understand. What? Please elaborate. What are you trying to accomplish?
We had an arrangement with the school that's now fallen through.
But wait,
We've left Tom hanging out.
Hasn't fallen.
One at a time.
We're still going to Hanover County High School?
Wait, one at a time. Let's not get
You
into
go
it.
first.
Okay,
You go
I'll
first.
go first.
John's got the floor.
My intention here is that the three of us have the authority of this committee, and we need to exercise that authority. We need to be the ones that are involved in any contractual agreement that occurs.
Mr. Chairman, why would that take a motion? I think that you already are involved. And he talks about it falling through. There has been some discussion, but there's also been another offer by the Hanover school system to have the convention at Lee School because they have SATs that day, and it's within 10 miles. Would be the same day. 1,700 people haven't taken part of the process to go and have their mass meetings, and now we're going to undo all this and talk about.
Wait a minute.
But my point is, but we all are obligated with responsibility to speak for our jurisdictions, and we enter into some sort of an agreement. But I mean, are you specifically asking that each one of us has to sign each contractual agreement?
That would be the intention.
Well, what wouldn't
Then
that?
we will have to get together and vote for it.
Here's what I want to do. Let's take this up under new business, okay? It's my feeling as chair that the Legislative District Committee does have the responsibility that John just outlined. Let's go to new business, talk about the fact that we lost Mr. Franco, and discuss it there and get through the rest of this agenda, if that's okay.
Mr. Chairman, we are in new business right now. We started off exactly.
We're still on the agenda, Mike.
Yes, sir. And you said when we kicked off this meeting that we were under new business. So I think this motion is.
No, I did not say that. I said we would pick up where we left off.
Sir, you said that this was under new business. I think we've got a couple of cameras here that can prove that. I mean, this is a perfectly legitimate motion.
What do you guys want to do, okay? Just tell me.
We'd like to second that. I'd like to second that motion. I think we're having discussion, and now I'd like to call for the question.
You need to see. Okay. Want to call for the question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Ayes have it. I'm not too sure what we approved, but I'm sure we can work it out.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I got an email from you this afternoon at 4:22. It looks like it went to a handful of folks, including all three voting members of this committee. It said 97 LDC et al. Terry Stone, HCPS called 4 p.m. today, HHS is not available to us on 4 May. She is looking at options. More to follow. Scott Wyatt is also working this. They are to call me ASAP on what final decision is from HCPS. Tom. So, Mr. Chairman, I believe that means that the Hanover County High School is not available for this 97th LDC convention. Terry Stone is the Assistant Superintendent of Hanover County Public Schools. So after today's decision that came out at 4:22 from your email, what is the alternative plan?
The alternative plan, as I know it right now, subject to your approval as the Legislative District Committee, is to move the convention to Atlee High School.
Mr. Chairman, is it also a matter of fact that the principal of the school, this is my information, you probably hands this, it's been my information, the principal of the school has volunteered that it would be available for our use on that day?
Yeah, there's been a series of emails and text messages, Mike, since that was sent out. I want to give everybody a heads up that that was in the mail. And they now come back to me and said that Atlee High School is available. The auditorium seats 850, the gymnasium seats 2,050. It's a little bit smaller than Hanover High School. Subject to what you gentlemen decide to do here, that is an option. We are going to meet tomorrow at 7:30, and everybody's been invited, at Atlee High School as opposed to Hanover High School.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a couple of points?
Sure.
So the email that was sent out earlier today about the invitation at 7:30, there were a couple of things on that. There was the campaign manager for Scott Wyatt's team. There was no representative from Mr. Peace's team on those emails.
Mike, that was an oversight.
Understood.
And you corrected it. I'm sorry.
Understood.
You have no idea how many emails I've sent today.
I sympathize. It's voluminous.
And you got it to Mike, so that's good.
I'm glad that we were able to keep both campaigns in the loop, because the emails that we received last week, you said that you wanted to keep all folks informed, including the campaigns, the local unit committees, and others. And I commend you for that, because I do think that's the right way to do it.
And I have tried, that's all I can tell you.
And so as we looked at this from last week, as of, well, it's now I guess about a week and a half ago, on April 17th, we still had this, the reservation while we were at Hanover High School before that was ripped from us today. This reservation was in the name of Friends of Scott Wyatt, according to the Hanover County Public Schools Assistant Superintendent. And then the point of contact for the LDC was listed as Scott Wyatt himself for this. So now I guess we are looking at Atlee High School, and you've had some new development since 4/22 that we just heard about of a new venue, and we're to go to Atlee High School tomorrow at 7:30 to review the venue.
That's correct.
Okay, and so I just want to make it clear then that because of the actions that this committee just took, any binding contracts or other actions that we take will be done by the committee, the 3 voting members of the committee. Is that
I
correct?
think that's what you just voted to do.
Okay.
I didn't understand the motion.
I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. Thank you.
For the record, I have not signed anything. Initially, Scott Wyatt pinned down the high school and transferred my contact to me. Have not signed the first document regarding that. And everything that we've done, I tried to keep the committee totally informed.
And so we don't have a signed contract with the Hanover County Public Schools?
No, sir, we don't. Not that I've signed.
And so
Mr. Chairman, didn't you also send 3 emails out that went unanswered to the representative of Hanover in the 97th district? Didn't you all along the last, I'd say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks sent and didn't receive anything from him? His interest all of a sudden is just amazing to me. And I'm not sure that there is a contract with this school.
Let's let Mike continue. Go ahead.
So I'd be happy to answer that, Mr. Daniel. The emails that we were sent were about the nominations for various...
No, Mike, let's stay on the schools. We want to deal with the emails later. Just
Sure.
Let's solve this problem.
You can answer why you didn't respond to him.
All right. Gentlemen, please. Go ahead, Mike. There's no contract. What do you want to say about no contract? Or
So we have not, as the 97th Legislative District Committee, signed a contract with the Hanover County, either Hanover County High School or the Hanover County Public Schools for a convention that we initially, according to the emails from Ms. Stone, the application said we were supposed to have 600 people. That estimate has been modified now to 12 to 1,300 people.
11 to 1,300.
Okay, 11 to 1,300 people for Saturday. Today is Monday night, and we don't have a contract with the school.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know about the wow, but that's correct. Okay, any further discussion on that, Mike?
Mr. Chairman, is that typical?
The chair has not recognized anybody other than Mike.
No, sir, I'm
Okay.
good.
Mr. Daniel?
I mean, is that he's making it sound like there's something that hasn't happened. I mean, we're all going to meet tomorrow. And I might add that someone from one of the campaigns, an operative, had called Mrs. Sloan, some information, talking about it being so rough, they would have to use wands to check people at the door. And most of the people, all of the folks I met in Hanover have been nice. I haven't seen anybody at all. I'm telling you that Hanover has functions. They have the international bike thing. They have Crowds Kings of many, tens of thousands. And I can't for the life of me imagine why it would be important for someone to call up an operative from one of the campaigns and say we need to have someone there wanted. And so there's been an attempt to make it out to be something crazy. And I'm going to tell you that is it typical business that the school gives a contract? Is that what we did last time? Does anyone know?
Okay,
Well, I don't know if that's even something that would happen.
I'm very comfortable that the school has made a commitment.
It's a contract.
Okay, I would like to just ask the public not to comment. The chair has the floor right now.
Can I finish?
No, you can't. The chair has the floor, and I've done what we could with this, and we've got it scheduled, and in good faith. I mean, the school system has been extremely responsive. If we have to sign a contract, we will, and that'll be the responsibility of 3 of you to sign it. I have no problem with that. I've not committed any money, etc. But I am very confident that the schools will hold to their word. To the benefit of the public that's in here, the reason we had to change the venue is not anything that we did. We had the school reserve. They have an SAT test, and the size or the number of students that are going to be tested has gone up. And the college board people came to the school and said, you cannot have this convention in this school. If you do, you may have to retest the students. We don't want to do that, okay? We're good citizens. The day that the students don't take priority over something like this will be a day when most of us quit working for a party. Okay. Any further comment on on John Hubbard's motion regarding the school? Yes, sir, Mr. Davis.
Isn't it likely that tomorrow, if you have some issues or some concerns, that you could visit with the representative of the school? Couldn't we go and hear what information that would concern us and be offered a contract at that time? Is that possible?
Everybody has been invited, both campaigns, all the legislative district committee has been invited.
Y'all get up that
to the
early?
school.
I don't sleep that late.
There you go, my brother.
I would love to sign a contract Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the committee. Yes, I think having insurance, I think making sure that public safety, I think making sure that the students and their parents who are sending their kids to SAT tests, I think making sure that public safety and the student safety and the insurance is absolutely essential to running a good program. If we as Republicans expect good government, we as Republicans should also expect our meetings to be done orderly, that give everyone a fair process, and that give folks the ability to participate and feel empowered and feel like they can go out and beat Democrats in the fall. And I don't want to see inept logistics and a poor planning get in the way of that process.
Excellent. So you'll be there tomorrow?
I will.
Good. Will all 3 of you be there? Maybe we'll have breakfast afterwards. That's fun. I would just, for the purpose of continuing discussion on planning, as Mr. Reynolds has brought up, for the benefit of everybody that's here, and I know John and Mark are aware of most of this, and Mike is aware of some of it. On the 21st of March, I went out seeking input from the committee here and the campaigns to staff the various committees that are needed to run a convention. As Mike has said, it's a big job, and it needs to be done right. I got no input, no response. On the 24th of March, I went out again asking the same questions. I had straw man committees. Size of the committees was established. I had leads for the committees that I was recommending, subject to the approval of the Legislative District Committee. No response to that email. On the 29th of March, I went out again. No response to that email. On the 17th of April, I went out one more time. I pleaded with people. Please provide input, let's get together for an administrative meeting plan. So these guys have been busy with their mass meetings, and I understand that. But we also have a convention to run. So we either need to get on it or do something else. So any further discussion on this horse that we beat?
Mr. Chairman, all of this is kind of well and good, but at this point, I think our credibility is in question with most people, and that's an unfortunate situation. After the debacle this weekend, Hanover High School was pulled out on us on this later date. I think that we need to consider all of the information and explore all the ramifications of this situation, and we can start tomorrow morning at 7:30. Therefore, I would move to adjourn this meeting and continue on May the 1st, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. at the Ashland Library, 201 South Railroad Avenue in Ashland, Virginia, when hopefully we'll have more answers to all these questions so we can have a nice unified front for these folks and tell them all exactly what we've got with the hopes that we're going to have us a convention.
A motion has been made. Is there a second?
I second.
There's a second. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, we've had not one, not two, but three mass meetings. 1,700 people have come out and taken part. It's not so much important that I might not care for someone on this board, they might not care for me. What's important is people, and that they have confidence in our process and something they can believe in. A mass meeting and a convention is in our party plan. If it wasn't allowed, it wouldn't be in there. We followed it to the letter. To get to this end, I understand Mr. Hubbard's sense of caution with this caveat. If this is meant to further delay and not have it on Saturday, it will poorly represent us as representatives of our own units. So I'm going to tell you that I will meet tomorrow. If you want to meet on Wednesday, that's fine. But there's no reason in this world why we should not have our convention on Saturday. The people are expecting it. They have voted. You're going to do things that cannot be undone. And you're going to cost the confidence of all the folks involved in this process. So thank you for that.
Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Seeing that we don't have a contract for a venue on Saturday, today is Monday evening, we don't have a venue right now as of 4:22 p.m. I know there are other plans in place. There are just a lot of questions. And I think that's a problem. I think our Hanoverians and New Kent residents, King William residents, who put their faith in the process, who put their faith in one or two candidates, and are out here and put their names out here and have gotten more involved rather than less involved because they want to see good government. I think they've been let down by this committee. And the fact is, had we not, Mr. Hubbard and I scheduled a meeting that we issued the call a week ago Saturday, had we not done that, this committee would not have met since March 19th. And we're not talking about providing recommendations for names for a resolutions committee or a credentials committee. We're talking about the blocking and tackling of signing a contract and having the venue where we are hosting what was in the application 600 people is now 12 to 1,300 people. We had that in the name of one of the candidates, not even in the Legislative District Committee. And so we want to give our residents and our voters and those who are participating in the process the utmost confidence that this process is going to be fair, it's going to be transparent, it's going to be even-handed. And I think this committee has not done a good job. I joined this committee on March 31st, and I'm happy to play a role to help write this, along with the other members who are looking for a quality process. But this has been a real challenge, and I think we have some time to get this right, but this has been a challenge.
Mr. Dana.
Mr. Chairman, I haven't even met Mr. Michael P. until Reynolds, forgive me, Michael P. Reynolds. You know what? He could have, at any time, taken an active role. And I think this committee has done a wonderful job. I think our planning is going along. It couldn't be more clear that there could be some intent for someone to railroad the entire process at the 11th hour And if you felt so much about it, where have you been? And so I look forward to meeting these gentlemen tomorrow at 7:30, and we'll reconvene the meeting. But I want to tell you that if we get back together again, there's going to be something about a contract. You're going to have everything. You get what you need, because this question has been desired. 1,700 people have taken a part in it, and you're going to railroad this. And if you don't, and the confidence that's at risk will be, what about our Saturdays when we came out to the mass meeting? What about this process that's laid out in the RPB handbook that we did, and now you've stopped it? So I hope that you would take a moment and get all the information you can. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, one final thing.
We don't have the floor yet. You need the floor yet?
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
We don't have a venue for Saturday.
Yes, we do have.
Mr. Reynolds, the chair would ask maybe that you take the lead, since you obviously have excellent qualifications for doing this type of thing, in securing a contract tomorrow morning with the high school, should you feel as a committee that that's the appropriate thing to do.
I'm sorry.
I'd ask you if you would take the lead.
Slow down when you tell me these things.
Would you take the lead for the chair, or for the committee, not the chair, regarding securing the contract and that's all for the venue?
Seeing that this is the first that I've heard of this as of 7 o'clock, and we were having emails traded. Can I finish?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, we have committee members. I mean, we were.
You can say no.
Mark, you're out of order. Go ahead, Mike, please.
I would hope that we have a little more respect and decency.
Okay, please be quiet. Nobody, let us finish this discussion.
Forgive me, Mr. Reynolds. Please continue.
Thank you. Apology accepted. We heard about the cancellation at 4:22. And now we've heard here at 7:15 or whatever that we're going to be moving to Atlee Library, or I'm sorry, Atlee High School. That's great. My wife used to teach there. I'd be happy to work with those negotiations.
So you'll take the lead for making sure we do this right.
I will, in coordinating with the committee as we just adopted.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that.
Hallelujah.
Okay, so you've had extensive discussion on a motion that I forgot what it was, so I think it's going to reconvene the meeting at another date. John?
Reconvened on May the 1st at 5:30 p.m. at the Ashland Library at 201 South Railroad Avenue. This room, by the way, is not available.
Okay.
Wednesday, I would have just had it in the same place.
Okay.
But if this is going to give us time to have this meeting tomorrow, see what we got to do about a contractual agreement. We're going to have to change the certificate of insurance, I do believe, to meet the new venue, which shouldn't be, I'm in business. We have to issue certificates of insurance all the time, for doing projects. So we should be able to handle that. But let's get our arms around the logistics of this before we drag all these folks into another meeting and start trying to hammer this out in front of them. They deserve better.
I certainly think they do.
And ladies and gentlemen, let me also say this. We've talked about how everybody has participated in this, and I have to tell you that all you folks have been great to go to these mass meetings, to go to all these meetings, to go through everything that you've been through. I'm going to offer you a humble opinion. I think you were ill-used. You're going to go spend a Saturday in a gymnasium sitting on hard bleachers for hours. You're going to have the brains sucked out of your head by political speeches from people that we support.
Yeah. All right. Let's end it.
You've gone through this. Let me finish.
John,
But you've gone through that order, and I want to see you have your convention.
I think your point is well taken, and I don't necessarily disagree with it. For the benefit of everybody that's in the room, including Mr. Reynolds, as soon as I got the information from the schools regarding the issue, I got it out almost immediately. And it was changing literally as I was driving here. I did not sit on anything. I don't think he indicated that I did. I want to make sure that you understand that this was a school's deal, and we didn't have much choice. So we just have to adapt. It's not Tom Miller that sat on something for a week just to play games with the committee. I know most of you don't think that. So let's call for the vote. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Reynolds?
What are we voting on?
We're voting on the meeting, John's motion.
Oh,
I forgot what it was too, so that's a repeat.
I vote aye.
John?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I don't vote, so the ayes have it. We'll reconvene, and thank you all for attending.